These are some crazy cheating stories. Here are two unbelievable Reddit cheating stories that I have come across. I own a small moving company, been in business for 10 years. My wife Sonia works as a server at this upscale steakhouse downtown. We've been married for 7 years, have a decent house, and a normal life. Never thought I'd catch her because of a wrong delivery, but that's exactly what happened. Last month, one of my crews was moving this guy from his apartment to a new house across town. Standard job. While loading the truck, they noticed a woman's clothes and jewelry in his stuff. The crew leader joked about the guy having a girlfriend moving in too. That's when they found a photo strip from one of those mall photo booths. This guy kissing my wife. My crew leader's known me for years, recognized Sonia immediately, but he played it cool, kept loading the truck. The customer's new address? Less than 2 miles from my house, in that new subdivision they had just built. The real kicker? Sonia had been telling me she was picking up extra dinner shifts, saving up for our upcoming vacation. Turns out those dinner shifts were her helping this guy pick out furniture for his new place. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I had my crew take pictures of everything. The photo strip, receipts they found with both their names on furniture purchases, even a handwritten note about their new beginning. The guy had no idea these movers worked for me. That night, Sonia came home talking about her busy dinner shift. I asked how many tables she had. She launched into this whole story about a big party of 12 that kept her late, but I'd already called her restaurant. She hadn't worked there in 3 weeks. Put in her notice, said she was taking a job at another place. The next day, I parked down the street from this guy's new house. Sure enough, around noon, Sonia's car pulls up. She's using her server uniform as cover, changing into it in her car, then changing back before coming home. She'd even kept her old name tag and apron to make it convincing. Even though I had what I needed, I still hired a PI to document everything. Turns out she and this guy met 6 months ago when he was a customer at the restaurant. I gave the PI access to my phone records because I was paying for the cellular service and my wife was on the plan. I didn't have access to her phone, never needed a reason to. The PI found messages on some app I'd never heard of. They were planning to wait until after our vacation to tell me. Why? Because it was a cruise. We couldn't get refunded, and they wanted one last luxury trip on my dime. The PI discovered something else. They'd opened a joint bank account. Sonia had been depositing money into it, thousands of dollars. Our vacation fund, her extra shifts money, even some cash from our joint savings. They were planning to use it as a down payment on another house, something they could start fresh in. I got all my evidence together and met with the lawyer. Here's where it gets interesting. The furniture receipts my crew found. Sonia had used our joint credit card for some of it. The lawyer said that was technically misuse of marital assets. Plus, she'd forged my signature on a loan application for their future house. I waited until the perfect moment to confront her. She'd planned this dinner at our house, told me she was cooking something special. I walked in and found her packing a bag. She claimed it was gym clothes for the next day. I just pulled out my phone and played a video the PI had gotten. Her and this guy furniture shopping, kissing in the store, using our credit card. The look on her face, I'll never forget it. First denial, then anger, then this weird calm. She actually tried to blame me, said I worked too much, didn't appreciate her. That's when I showed her the moving company paperwork with her boyfriend's name on it. She didn't know I owned the company, had always thought I just worked there as a manager. She completely broke down, not because she was sorry, but because she realized how badly she'd messed up her plan. The furniture they'd bought, technically half mine since she used our joint funds. That down payment they'd saved had to be split in the divorce since she'd taken it from our accounts. Even better, The loan application with my forged signature was now evidence. I'd already moved money to protect myself, leaving exactly half in our joint accounts, all documented through my lawyer. I had copies of everything: the credit card statements, bank transfers, loan application, all of it. She tried deleting their messages, but the PI had already documented everything. The next day, while she was at his new house, I had my moving crew show up, totally legal. The furniture bought with our joint funds was half mine, and I had documentation for every piece. The look on this guy's face when my crew walked in with police escort, priceless. He had no idea Sonia was using our money to furnish his place. Sonia tried to spin it at church, told people I was controlling, that I'd set her up. But remember those receipts? They showed her buying furniture on days she was supposedly at her sister's helping with the new baby. Her sister lives 3 states away. The church secretary had been sending meals to help with the baby, meals Sonia was picking up and probably sharing with her boyfriend. The divorce was quick. Her boyfriend disappeared once he realized Sonia couldn't bring the financial benefits she'd promised. Turns out, Sonia was also talking to another man from the PI's investigation. I didn't care about the other guy. I was already done with her. Last I heard, Sonia is back living with her parents, working 2 jobs to pay back the credit card debt. That dream house they were planning? The bank flagged the loan application when my lawyer reported the forgery. Her credit is destroyed. The boyfriend moved to another state, probably looking for a replacement. LOL. My moving company, business is better than ever. Word got around about how my crew handled the situation, professionally, legally, with the police present. The cruise we'd planned, I took my crew instead. 7 days in the Caribbean, all expenses paid. Best team building exercise ever. Posted plenty of pictures online. Sonia must have seen them because she tried calling from different numbers. I just kept blocking them. This is the second crazy story. If you are out here cheating on your spouse, you better be mindful of technology. I drive for a living, one of those delivery services that's always busy. I have 2 vehicles, and one of my vehicles sits in the driveway. I don't drive it that much. My wife Patty works from home, running her own small online business. At least that's what I thought she was doing all day. Turns out she was running something all right, just not a business. It started when I installed a new dashboard camera in my car. Not one of those cheap ones. This was top of the line, with GPS tracking, cloud backup, the works. I got it for insurance purposes, never thinking it would save me from something worse than a car accident. The camera had this feature that would record any movement around my car, even when it was parked. It would send alerts to my phone with video clips. Most of the time, it was just cats walking by or kids on bikes. But one afternoon, while I was on a long delivery route, I got an alert. The video showed my car parked in our driveway, but in the background was Patty getting into some guy's truck. Not suspicious by itself. Could have been a client, right? Except she was dressed like she was going to a club, not a business meeting. It was 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Over the next week, I got more alerts. Same truck, different times. Sometimes she'd be gone for hours. Her online business social media would have scheduled posts going up while she was out. Pretty clever, making it look like she was working from home while she was God knows where. I started paying attention to patterns. Every time I had a long delivery route, that truck would show up. Patty must have been tracking my location through the delivery app, knowing exactly when I'd be gone for hours. The guy would park just slightly in view of my camera, like he was taunting me or just stupid. Then came the day I got an alert and saw them kissing in our driveway. Broad daylight, middle of the afternoon, right in front of our house. The camera caught everything. The way she fixed her hair after, checked her lipstick in his truck's mirror. She had it down to a routine. I didn't let on that I knew. Instead, I started gathering evidence. The camera backed everything up to the cloud: dates, times, GPS coordinates. I never found out who the guy was on my own, even though I had his license plate number. But I hired a PI for a week, and he found out who he was. Turned out he was married too, lived about 20 minutes away. The real kick in the teeth: he owned a marketing company that helped small businesses with their social media. That's how they met. Patty had hired him to help with her business. I found the invoice in our tax papers. I'd actually paid this guy to teach my wife how to cover her tracks. One day, I decided to end my delivery route early. Drove home, parked down the street, and waited. Sure enough, his truck pulls up. But this time, something different happened. They started unloading boxes from his truck into our garage, my garage. The camera caught them talking about how they'd tell me soon and start fresh. I called his wife. Oh yeah, the PI gave me all of his information. Sent her every video clip, every timestamp. She'd had suspicions but no proof. While they were busy moving their little love nest into my garage, she was cleaning out their joint accounts and changing the locks on their house. Then I called my lawyer, showed him everything: the videos, the fake business posts, even found receipts where Patty had been paying for hotel rooms with our joint account, coding them as business expenses for taxes. The confrontation happened when they were in mid-move. I pulled into the driveway, blocking his truck, my dash cam recording everything, of course. Patty froze, holding a box labeled "New Office Supplies." Her boyfriend tried playing it cool, saying he was just helping a client move some business equipment. I opened one of the boxes. Inside, his clothes, photos of them together, even a lease agreement for an apartment dated for the following month. They'd been planning to blindside me, probably when I was out on a long delivery route. His wife picked that perfect moment to pull up. She had their pastor with her. Turns out they were marriage counselors at their church. The look on this guy's face when his wife and pastor stepped out of the car, I can't even recreate it. Patty dropped the box she was holding and ran inside. The pastor started asking questions right there in the driveway. How long has this been going on? Have you been counseling other couples while living in adultery? The guy just stood there, sweating, while his wife went through the boxes, finding receipts for jewelry and trips they'd taken together. My lawyer arrived next. I'd called him on my way home. He served my wife right there on the spot. The documentation was beautiful. Time-stamped videos, bank statements, fake business records, everything. Patty had been writing off their hotel stays as business expenses. That's tax fraud. Her boyfriend had been billing me for social media services while sleeping with my wife. That's fraud too. The divorce was brutal for them. My lawyer used the tax fraud angle to get a better settlement. Patty's business was losing money. She'd been using it to cover their affair expenses. The IRS got involved because of the fraudulent deductions. They didn't come after her criminally. They just fined her heavily because she couldn't prove what she was reporting. Her boyfriend's marketing company lost clients when the story got out. Turns out other wives weren't comfortable hiring a guy known for sleeping with his clients. His wife got everything in their divorce. The pastor made sure their whole church knew why. Last I heard, they lost most of their friends. Their reputations ruined in the business community. Patty tried starting over in another city, but her business experience was all fake. No real clients, just a cover for meeting her boyfriend. The dash cam, I kept it. Added more cameras to my new place. The delivery business is doing great. Turns out being known as the guy who caught his wife cheating makes for great conversation with customers. Some even request me specifically, share their own stories. I have to say, these are two of the craziest Reddit cheating stories I have narrated on my channel in a while. I want to thank everyone for hanging in there with me For the last 4 years, I have been experimenting with different formats, and I have come to the conclusion that I built my channel to over 45,000 plus subscribers with just my voice. So, going forward, I will just be behind the microphone a little more while narrating the stories. I will get on camera some, but just using the microphone allows me to upload more content. I sincerely appreciate all the support.